Right now it's 12:57 in Baton Rouge. This is Hurricane Ida. Coming in. This is going to be a live, or slightly delayed rather, feed of Hurricane Ida in the Baton Rouge area right now. 12:57 in the afternoon in Baton Rouge. I'm going to drive towards the LSU campus, onto LSU area, through the area, and just see how conditions are right now. Again, these are conditions right now in Baton Rouge. It's just about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. See, the winds are still mild, not too strong yet. Basically, we got joggers out there, people jogging along, cars. This is a four-wheel drive, so if you hear a little noise, that's just the four-wheel differentials, transaxles, a little transaxle noise. It's a pretty heavy vehicle, this Volvo XC90. Pretty good for this kind of thing. So right now, I'm headed northwest, and that's a look out to the south, right there. There's a few people out driving today. There's another jogger slash walker right there. You can see it's not that bad in Baton Rouge yet. Right now it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperature is right 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Of course, the Gulf of Mexico temperatures are also in the 80s. That's a good look out to the south right there. And those temperatures are also in the 80s, and that's why this hurricane strengthened to near Cat 5 status. Maximum sustained winds just about 70 miles south of here, just a few minutes ago, were detected by Severe Studios at 156 miles per hour. Severe Studios is another YouTuber. Shout out to Severe Studios. This is Aerial Skycam, and we're with you. Right now it's right at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is Highway 42 in Baton Rouge, and we're headed north towards the LSU campus. I'm going to show you what that looks like. As you can see, the wind field hasn't picked up a whole lot out here in Baton Rouge yet. We've got some trees swaying in the breeze. I would estimate that wind to be about 20-25 miles an hour currently. Possibly gusts to 30 to 40. Just based on my experience with these storms. Lived out here all my life, so I've seen a lot of hurricanes, seen them come and seen them go. This is how it starts. Of course, as a pilot, I'm also familiar with the weather, and it's just really interesting. You see, these are the outer clouds coming off the circulation of the storm. And if you stand in one spot and look, you can actually see the counterclockwise circulation of these clouds. These are definitely hurricane clouds. Although, right now, you wouldn't know that just 60 70 miles south of here, there are winds well in excess of 100 miles an hour. Indeed, in excess of 150 miles an hour with gusts all the way up to 170. But that's what's coming to Baton Rouge. And right now, we're just taking a quick survey before the worst happens. So we're coming up on Highway 42 and Gardere. There's some buildings over there. It's a casino resort area. Those are water treatment tanks. As you can see, everything looks fine right now. In fact, the sun is trying to come out just a little bit, and see there's a lot of high clouds mixed in with low clouds, but not too bad yet. Trees are moving in the breeze a bit. As I said, the breeze is about 20-25 miles an hour. Gusts probably hitting 30 and 40 on the outside, but not often. I don't really feel the wind pushing the car or anything like that. Everything's pretty standard. There's a few other vehicles out here. People just riding, trying to get last minute supplies. A few things they might have left at other locations. They're just going out to pick up, stuff like that. And right now it's still an okay time to do that, but there's only a short window of opportunity because just 70 miles south of here, it's a whole different story. We're getting close to LSU. I'd say we're about 5 miles south of campus, heading north. On Highway 42. This road would actually take you directly to the interstate. Seems like we're in a rural area, but actually just on the right side of those trees, like a mile or so, it's very urban. Just the city of Baton Rouge. If you didn't know, if you didn't have radar, you would just think it was just a cloudy day. That's what made these storms so insidious back in the old days, because people really had no idea what was coming. They had no way to get there, no way to get news back fast enough to know that a monster was lurking just 60 miles away. All right, now we're coming up on some stores and shops just outside the LSU campus. We're going to be passing right in front of a little town for students called Tigerland, where a lot of LSU students reside. And believe it or not, a lot of LSU students are actually sheltering in place on campus today, waiting for this storm to come through. The LSU campus is very strong, has its own generator system, and so it's a pretty secure area, and so the students are safe. Let's see, we're coming up on a military high water vehicle that's going to pass us on the left. And there's the Baton Rouge corporate limit sign. There's that military vehicle. See, it's towing a Humvee. Definitely high water capable in comparison to a car. You can see there's a bit of traffic out. There's a market. Just on the other side of those trees is Tigerland. We're gonna be riding right in front of it, driving right by. Hard to believe just 60 miles south of here, the winds are approaching 100, and at 75 miles south of here, the winds are well in excess of 100, 140 miles an hour. Looks pretty calm, definitely calm before the storm compared to what's coming. Even that current 20-mile-an-hour breeze is nothing compared to what will be here in a matter of hours. The storm's maintaining its course. It's moving at about 15 miles an hour, and it's got about 75 miles to go for the eye wall to get to Baton Rouge. Coming in as the crow flies from Grand Isle, where it made landfall just about an hour and so many minutes ago. All right, that's Tigerland coming up on the left. That's not a tree, actually. That brown thing in the center of your screen is actually a cell phone tower made to look like a tree. Hopefully those things won't be coming down. That's a good view of Tigerland right there. A lot of bars and clubs with a lot of apartment complexes behind them. And you're gonna see more buildings now as we're coming up on the LSU campus. There's a McDonald's. Definitely seems to be closed right now. You can see a lot of utility trucks staging. These are utility trucks for Entergy and Alltech, the other power companies out here. They're staging because they're gonna come in after the storm, and they're probably staying at that hotel right there. And you know, there's Tiger Stadium, iconic Tiger Stadium right there on your right. That's a very tall stadium. I'd imagine the winds at the top of that stadium when the storm passes through could well be in excess of 150 miles an hour, even though the storm will be somewhat weakened possibly by the time it gets to Baton Rouge. But at high altitudes, there's nothing to block the wind. So when you're standing at the top of that stadium and you're close to several hundred feet off the ground, you know, the wind that you feel at the top of that stadium would be incredible. In fact, that would be a very, very dangerous place to be. Okay, you can see right here the LSU campus looks pretty quiet. Just driving through. There's the stadium on the right, looming large. And we're gonna cut through the campus just to get to location on the other side of campus. You can see there's a lot of iconic oak trees here. Whenever a storm hits, you know, these kind of things, while they're very beautiful, they can also become very dangerous because of fallen branches and the weight of some of those branches. Even though it looks small, they can weigh as much as 10 people. So if that falls on your car, could be big trouble, especially the larger branches, which could definitely match the weight of a car, even depending on what tree you're talking about. Like a large oak tree like this one right here on the left, one of those branches could easily weigh several thousand pounds. And we're just driving through the iconic LSU campus, and stop sign's been pushed down, and everything looks pretty quiet here. All right, let's make a turn here. The electrical engineering building on the right. That's LSU's power generation facility on the left right there. So LSU is a pretty safe place for students to shelter in place because it does have its own power system. And of course it's got a cooling system, it's got a lot of facilities, and these buildings are very heavy. So many students have sheltered in place here for this storm. And as you can see, there's not very many people out at all right now on the LSU campus. And hard to believe, but just 70 miles south of here, the winds are easily approaching 150 miles an hour and more. And this area, in just a few short hours, is gonna have sustained winds of well in excess of 120 miles an hour with gusts that could well exceed Cat 5 level in the gust, which of course wouldn't make that a Cat 5 storm. But even when it comes through here, it's going to be able to produce Cat 5 type winds in short bursts. Not to mention the tornadoes that well might be seen in the northeast eye wall, which New Orleans is going to be feeling some of the brunt of. It's coming in through the LSU campus. This is Dalrymple right now. You can see here that we got a lot of trees that could fall when the storm comes through. And again, that's very heavy, very dangerous. Some of the smaller branches, of course, also present a hazard because those smaller branches can basically become projectiles. They can hit you in the face if you don't have eye protection on. So this is definitely not a storm to play with, not something to take casually. This is the third big storm to hit Louisiana in a very short amount of time. We had a large storm last year, hit Lake Charles, and this is another major hurricane. Ironically, on August 29th, which is also the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Unbelievable. All right, now we're crossing over into the north side of campus. A lot of shops, restaurants around here, and Chase Bank over there. That's the Venue apartment straight ahead. Those are more luxury apartments for some students that have the means and want to stay in a place like that. It's gated, it's garage community. You can see right here, it's pretty much a ghost town. There's a few cars out, a few cars parked, but not much activity. A couple cars at that intersection. There's a gas station right there. It's hard to see in the video, but the gas pumps are shrouded off. Those gas pumps are covered with bags. And basically, like many gas stations out here, it's out of gasoline because there was a big run on gas. Well, that's it right now. You can see that's the LSU campus area. Pretty much calm before the storm. Hard to believe. 60, 75 miles south of here, winds are exceeding 150 miles an hour. This is Charles, Aerial Skycam out. Talk to you soon.